Hey guys, Brian Holder here, Brian Holder Graphic Design. Stick around, I'm going to show you how you can make this price box using nothing but elements within WYSIWYG Web Builder 8. So to get started, what we're going to do is start with a blank page like we see here. And what I've done is I've laid this page out with 3 separate columns, equal in width, and the total width is 940 pixels of the page. It's actually 960 pixels with 20 pixels of padding here, 10 on each side. So the distance from this marker to this marker is 940 pixels, which is going to allow me to have a box for each price box. If I use 4 of them, I'm going to be able to have 235 pixels wide, which is what I'm going to set it at right now. So what I'm going to start by doing is laying out the title, top part, like what you would see right here, where it says bronze plan, silver, gold, and platinum. So we don't want this to be quite that tall. I'm going to scale this back and maybe go with a 60. That's not bad for a title. And we're going to soften this up a little bit. I'm going to use a bit of a softer gray. Oh, actually it's darker. We're going to definitely soften up that border. So that's not too bad right there. We're going to add some text into here, so we're just going to call this the first plan. And we're going to style this text up a little bit. We'll keep it nice. We'll give it a Tahoma. Let's say maybe a 20. That's not too bad. We're going to use anti-alias text. We're going to center it up inside that box. Let me check that before I forget. Okay, that's just a little bit too dark, so let's soften up that text a little bit. I'm going to make that part bold so it stands out, just like what you saw in my example over on the other page. And that's it. First plan. Boom. Done. Control-C, Control-V. Now here's a little tip. You see how that happened? When I Control-V and my mouse is within the working area of the page, you're always going to line up what you're pasting with where your mouse is located. See that? So if you wanted to paste this in place and have it paste directly over top of the one that's there, move your mouse off of the working area into like the site manager or the properties area, and then hit Control-V, and that'll paste it directly in place. And now all you do is just use the arrow buttons, and you can move that over, and it'll keep it in line with whatever you have, whatever you pasted the first time. Okay, so we will change this to the second plan. Control-V, paste in this guy, slide it over, and we're going to do something a little bit different with this one, because this is going to be where we feature the plan that we want people to buy. This is going to be the most popular, or the featured, or my pick, or whatever you want to call it, plan. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make this a little bit taller. I'm going to give it 80 pixels. Oops. And we'll slide it up by 10. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we're going to call this the third plan. And while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and just change this to white. I'm going to change the editor background color to just black, just so I can see the text that's on there. Because I know that when I come to here, I'm going to change this to a blue color. I like Dodger blue. I don't know why. Something about Dodger blue. That's not quite right. So let's go back to Dodger blue. We'll go to more colors. Custom, we're just going to darken that up a little bit. Okay. Looks good. Okay, so there's our third plan. And now we're just going to Control-C and Control-V on the second, and we'll get our last plan in place. And that'll do it for the headlines. I know this is very boring to watch this thing just scroll across the screen. I should just drag it over, but too late now. Okay, so we'll change this to the fourth plan. Okay, so that's set up. Now what we're going to do is set up our price area, which you can put this at the bottom if you wanted to, closer to the button. You can set this up any way that you want now that you see how we're doing it. And these got shifted slightly, so I got to move them back over. There we go. So for the price, what I'm going to do is change the background color. I'm going to go to white, and I'm going to lighten the, let's see here, I'm going to lighten up that border slightly as well. Let's see what that looks like. That's not bad, I like it, I'll go with that. So for the price, we're just going to put in $1.99, something like that. And I'm going to put in, I always try to put in a term. People like to see that. So per month, and we'll throw in our asterisk, let people know there's a little bit more to it than just what they're seeing. We'll unbold that. Maybe we'll make this just a tiny bit lighter shade so it's not quite as obvious. That's not too bad there. So why don't we maybe make this a little bit taller. Maybe go 70 on this one. Maybe we got 2 lines. I'm actually just going to go ahead and delete these out. Alright, so Control C, Control V. Now we got a grid started here. Okay. Got something to kind of base this on. I don't have to. That's not bad. Alright, so our second plan, say it's $3.99, right? A little bit more, paying a premium there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go back to our Dodger Blue. We're actually just going to make it slightly lighter. Maybe someplace in there. And I think I'll actually just make this the Dodger Blue color. And then our text, like I said, we'll change this to black so that I can see the text. This goes to white. And what are we at, $5.99 I guess, something like that. So there's that. And then our final plan. Text, $7.99. Go up by $2 every time. Okay, so that's that. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to copy these now. Yeah, I'll copy these. I'm going to copy these ones. Indecisive. Copy those, bring it back down. I actually want to make them, take them back to the 60 that I had before. I know some people might be concerned that I'm actually using images to build this price table because this text is going to convert to an image once we publish it. But that's why you have this alternate text here. You can put in $1.99 per month in that alternate text. Well, and then that'll be displayed if this image doesn't display, but it'll also be displayed to the search engines for your search engine optimization efforts if you're trying to keep up with that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to throw in a feature of some kind. So why don't we say that maybe we're a web host, and we're going to say that we come with, this plan comes with 2 gigabytes of disk space. I don't know if I spell that right. Oh my goodness, I butchered that. How did I go that bad? So there's that. What I'm going to actually do, instead of having to redo the formatting every time, I'm just going to copy and paste. So that plan comes with 2, so maybe this plan comes with 10, perhaps. I don't know, I'm just making this up. 10, maybe this one comes with 50. And this has to be white. And maybe this guy comes with 100. Copy and paste those. We're just going to slide them down. Maybe we got 20 gigs bandwidth. changing the color. But I say for that one 100, so maybe this one's 150. And we'll just say this one's 250. And so on and so forth. We could list features all day long. So now what we're going to do here is just grab these guys again, Control C, Control V, bring them back down, and I'm going to make them tall, real tall, so maybe 100 pixels tall. And we're going to remove the text from the center here. All of them, because we're going to be making way for a button, a clickable button here. Get rid of the text, get rid of the text, get rid of the text. Alrighty. So, if you didn't check out my tutorial on how to make a button using a shape, you're going to get a little refresher here. So what we're going to do is just, I'm not going to really walk you through, I'm just going to go real quickly here. Backwards on that, so there's that, and there's that Dodger blue, choose that one, and the border's dark, enable hover mode, dark blue, dark blue, dark blue, looks good, text. Fine now. Well, Dodger. Highlight that. Tahoma. We'll say 12, like 16. White. Use any lace. Center it up. Okay, looks good by now. 150, yeah, that's good. And I think 50 in height is probably good. So I'm just going to eyeball these. I'm not going to try to line them up and make them perfect here. I'll show you why here in a second. Okay, what I can do is grab them all, give them all the same top. No way, I had them right the first time, right in the bed. That's crazy. Alright, so that's all set. Now we're going to change this button here. We're going to make this kind of an orange, I think. Actually, no, I'm going to go more of a red orange. Yeah, I like that. Alright, so when you hover, we'll just make it all dark orange. Actually, no, we'll go to this when we hover. Border like that. Text, white, I guess is okay. Yeah, it's not bad. Alright, so there's that. So now we're starting to see the meat and potatoes of this here. So let's take a look at this in the browser. And you'll see this actually loads my header and links and my show scroll and all this stuff. And this is because I'm using a master frame. I'm going to try to get to a master frame tutorial here in the future for you guys, so stay tuned for that. You can see my buttons work. Nice rollover effect for the buttons. So now what we're going to do is add some fancy effects here to these. So what I'm going to do is drag out a new shape about the size of this this box here. I'm going to keep it just a tiny bit smaller just so that I can see the box behind it. And we're going to have to resize this in a minute again anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect. What I'm going to do is come over here to Effects, and I'm going to give it a Gaussian blur. Okay. I'm not really going to mess with the effects too much. They tend to work out pretty good with a blur of 10 and an opacity of 50. And we're going to hit OK. You see that box gets a little bit smaller. Now, like I said, we're going to drag it out again. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect as long as it's smaller than the box that's below it, the blue box here. You can see the edges of it. So drag that out. So sorry about that little glitch there. I got held up with this 15-minute cap on the recording here. So basically, what we do now is that we're going to have this little shadow, we're going to send this all the way to the back. So on the Windows PC, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down Control, and I'm going to push the minus button on the keypad. That's going to send it all the way to the back. So you'll see here now that the shadow's back there. It does some kind of weird things up here along these edges because these are on top of the shadow. So what we have to do is just move all of these back behind the shadow. So I'm going to do the same thing, Control minus on all of these individual pieces here. Control minus, Control minus, Control minus. And so what you can see happening now that is the shadow is starting to take form, and it makes this blue box appear to almost hover over the top of the rest of the price box. And that's about it. That's as far as I went with my price box right here. But you could certainly go a little bit further and do some stuff. Maybe instead of having this be a square, one of the things we can do is come down to this shape at the bottom. And let's see here, where is it? Someplace there is there it is, it looks like a tab, and you can control each individual corner. So I'll turn off everything except for the top left, and let's say we'll make that 10. Okay, and we can do the same for this individual corner and this particular one here. We'll find the tab, there it is, and we'll turn off the top ones, make the bottom left, turn that into a 10, hit OK, and you can see what happens is that it now rounds off this corner and this corner here, and it makes the whole thing look a little bit rounder. And you could do that for the corners on the blue, and then this corner here. And that's about it. So again, stay tuned. Coming up for my master frame tutorial, I'll show you how to do all that. I can show you how to do anything in this program. So if you got any questions, email me, brian.holder, brian.holder, HOLDER, at zoho.com. Get on my website. I got a contact page. You can find me there, and ask away, and I'll answer your questions. Alrighty? Hey, listen, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. You can check me out online, bjholder.com. And if you want to check out more great WYSIWYG Web Builder tutorials, visit bjholder.com/WWB. Thanks. Have a great one.